Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I'm so glad you're here. A few little technical difficulties, but here we are. So I was feeling the impulse to practice a yoga for setting healthy boundaries today. As we come out of this COVID time, or as we go back in and come back out and go back in and come back out, how do we acknowledge our boundaries in a healthy way so that we can preserve our relationships? Because that's why we have good boundaries anyway. And since I've had so many people living in my space and coming into my space, I feel like I've had a lot of time to practice, and I've had some massive fails and some positive ways of incorporating boundaries into my life. So that said, let's start in a comfortable seat. Prop up your hips, make yourself really comfortable so that you can feel grounded in your space wherever you are. And as you settle in, and as people leave my house, and close the doors gently, thank you. Let's just arrive here in this moment together. So several months ago, some of you sent me pictures of your sacred spaces, and they were so beautiful. I remember Greg's had, well, he sent me a picture of flowers, which I think is a beautiful way to honor your sacred space. And then I remember, I think it was Karen's space was very simple and clean, and just a way to honor where you practice. And I just love that. I love that you guys shared that. But our bodies are also our sacred space. And our bodies, according to the yogis, have these layers. So there's this physical layer, obviously. There's the emotional layer, the spiritual layer. And so our boundaries incorporate all of those layers. And when we honor the different aspects of ourselves, we really have to pay attention to the way our interactions with other people and the energy of the world, that with which we interact, the media, the books we read, whatever we expose ourselves to, how that affects our whole selves, so that we can be whole and healthy. And so we are always doing this when we practice. We know this. So let's just settle in and pay attention, maybe placing one hand over belly, one hand over heart. And just notice what we brought to our mats this morning. Noticing the physical self, where you might feel physical sensation. Noticing the emotional self, where you might be feeling this morning. And tuning into that spiritual self, that connection to that which is greater, that which is vaster, that which is mysterious. And begin to just tune into the breath, allowing in that external energy, right, that we draw in, that we share with one another. Filling up with that. And then releasing through your exhale, imagining you are releasing that which no longer serves you. So every breath is a cleansing opportunity. Every inhale, that is, and every exhale can be an opportunity for healing and release. And let's take a few more together. Feeling the expansion of the belly, the ribs, and the lungs on your inhale. And feeling the belly draw into the spine on the exhale. Good, take a few more. So as we practice, we gain a more precise appreciation of our boundaries. So we become a little more sensitive. And then we can know, maybe even before something might happen or someone might potentially interrupt our peace, we can respond with empathy and love and compassion for ourselves and for others. So let's get even more refined, let's get even more tuned in as we practice today. Let's just be aware of our own space, aware of our own healthy boundaries as we begin to move and breathe together. So when you're ready, release your hands, let them just relax on your legs, palms face up, and bring your pointer finger and your thumb together. Come into this mudra of wisdom. And just take a moment of meditation here. Cultivating some silence, creating space around the practice. Excellent. So we'll create our little space, our bubble, our boundary at the end of the practice as well. Just noticing the peace that comes with silence. So when you're ready, blink your eyes open, take your hands to the fronts of your legs. Let's check in with our hips as we take some circles, just some gentle hip circles. Keeping that breath smooth and steady. Before you get dizzy, switch directions. Take it in the opposite direction. Good. Excellent. Coming back to center. Switch the cross of your legs. Just be here for a little while longer. Inhale, reach up. Take your gaze up. Create space. And as you exhale, take your palms, face them down. Create this energetic, imaginary circle around you. Inhale, reach up again, look up. And exhale, palms down. Just sweeping that energy all around you. We'll take one more. And exhale. Maybe even imagining a golden circle of light around you. Inhale, reach up, let your palms touch, and take your twist to one side. Fingertips come behind you and in front of you. Inhale again, let your palms touch, and take your twist to the other side as you exhale. Good, take a couple more, either side, both sides. Excellent. All right. On your next one, reach out, let your palms touch, and exhale as your hands come down to your heart. Take a moment to just bow and find some silence here. Bowing to your heart, that center of your being which connects that mystery, that great mystery, to this great physical space where we reside. And then we'll come on up and we'll cover our mat with a blanket or towel to protect our knees as we come into a tabletop pose. And take your knees under your hips, wiggle them out, fingers spread nice and wide, hands under shoulders. And then as you're ready, just lift your right knee up and take some hip circles. So gentle hip circles, taking the knee in a circle all around you. And then we'll take it to the other side. So right knee down, left knee circles in one direction. Good. Come back down. Whatever circle, whatever direction you were going, let's switch that direction and take it to the right side. Nice. And then take it back to the left. See if you can circle it in the opposite direction. You'll know, even if you forgot. Good. Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, so bring your knees wide, bring your big toes to touch. We'll sink into our very first child's pose, and I suggest for this pose you take your block and place it under your third eye. Just let that rest, and then let your back just unwind. Sink your hips toward your heels. And let's take some breaths here, settling in, finding that peace. Just being aware of your own space, aware of your own body. And then noticing as your head rests on your block, perhaps what thoughts arise, what thoughts you can let go of. You can just be aware of those potential impositions, those thoughts. And see if you can come back to the awareness of your body, your breath, in this moment. And so you might notice as you practice more and more and you become more peaceful, some people might want to know your secret. They might want to know, like, where do you find this peace? How does this happen? And you might decide you want to share it with them, or you might just decide you just want to be with them and let them feast on your presence. Or maybe you decide this is not the time. You decide not to share. One thing I notice is when people come into my space, they pass this room and they're curious. They're like, what is in there? Sometimes I share with them, sometimes I open the door, and sometimes I don't. Honor your own boundaries. Let's take another big breath in. Exhale to let go and slowly rise up. Or if you have a block, I'm going to suggest that you keep it close by. We will be using it. And then take your hands just ahead of where you were in your tabletop. Move your blanket out of the way. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then slowly lift your hips. Come into your first downward facing dog. And Just notice how your dog is feeling this morning. Walk it out gently if you're tight anywhere. And then slowly let your heels descend toward the floor as you find stillness here. Make some space here for this dog. Notice how your arms are feeling. Maybe there's a little bend in your elbows. See if you can grip your mat with your finger joints, your thumb, your forefinger, especially that space right in between there. Take a nice big breath in, come up on your toes, and then exhale as you lower your heels. Lift your hips one more time, a little bit higher. Take your gaze back towards your knees. Nice big breath in. As you come back on your toes, take a gentle walk to the front of your mat. You can use your blocks here if you'd like to rest your hands on them. Or take your hands to ragdoll, finding your elbows and letting your head hang gently between your arms. So enough of a bend in the knee to prevent any lower back pain suggested. Take a nice full breath in and a deep exhalation. And then slowly release your hands and just gently draw them up your legs as you stand up, one vertebra at a time, drawing your spine up and gazing up, finding that length in your body, reaching up with the side body, fingertips reaching for that ceiling or sky if you're outside, and feel your own length. Take up space here. Take a big breath in, reach for the left wrist and lean to the right. Make that C shape. Keep pressing in with the left foot. Good. And then slowly take yourself in a circle. So only do this if this feels okay with your back. We're going to circle it out. And then arriving back up to center. Let your palms face one another, fingertips reaching toward the sky, looking up. And then take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand, lean to the left. Good. Look right. Keep that right foot firmly planted. And then we're going to take that gentle circle, bending your knees as you need to, just drawing your body up and around and back up, reaching your fingertips up to the sky. And then take your palms, sweep that energy all around your body as you forward fold. And then take a hold of one of your blocks, hopefully they're close by, and tuck it in between your legs, so somewhere up toward the middle of your legs, not between your knees, obviously. And on your inhalation, come up halfway, find that table, half tabletop. Good. And exhale, fold. So the energy is toward the center, so you're squeezing your inner thighs toward that block so that it won't leave. Don't let it leave. Inhale, reach up. We're going to take a side bend again to the right, so reach for your left wrist and side bend, keeping that center focus. So focus is on the midline of the body as you squeeze your legs in toward one another. Inhale back to center, and exhale, come on back to the other side. Good. Excellent. Inhale, reach up, send your fingertips toward the sky, palms face one another, and then squeeze that block as you take your palms facing down, sweep that energy all around you, and then take your hands back behind you, maybe behind your legs. See if you can give yourself a hug as you let your head and neck just relax. Shake it out, yes. Shake it out, no. Good. Inhale, we'll come halfway to lift and take that block and just place it down. Good. And then take your hands to the mat, step your right foot back, step your left foot back. And then we're going to slowly roll down to the floor, coming all the way down, taking your forehead to the floor. Take your hands to the outsides of your shoulders and squeeze those elbows in toward the midline. Spread the fingers nice and wide as you come up for your baby cobra. Little back bend here. Tops of the feet on the floor. Inhale. And exhale, slowly lower down. Excellent. Shake it out. Take another inhale. Rise up, maybe a little bit higher. Maybe come up to straight arms. And then slowly on your exhale, lower down. You got this. Good. Shake it out. Work it out. And when you're ready, slowly rise on up. Maybe you come up this time to your up dog, so you can leave the tops of your feet on the floor. Your knees can lift. A little more intense back bend, so keep your knees down if you're not ready for that yet this morning. And when you're ready, exhale. Take yourself up slowly to your down dog. Let it be a counter pose. Finding your boundaries also includes only taking these shapes to where your body is ready. So be kind to yourself. Keep the integrity of your boundaries. Maybe walk it out. When you're ready, we're going to keep that left foot on the floor. Take that right leg all the way up and go ahead and open it up so your hip is opened up. Maybe take an ankle circle or two. And then see if you can take some hip circles here. A lot of shoulder work here, so good. When you're ready, extend that long, point and flex maybe. And then look forward. We're going to bend that knee, draw it up forward. So we're coming into sort of a cat pose. So drawing the belly into the spine as you draw your knee up towards your nose. Maybe your nose comes down towards your knee. Only here for one more second. Take your right foot and place it between your left and your right foot, coming into a low lunge. Good. So toes facing forward. Nice long runner stretch. And then take your left hand to the mat. Sweep it on up. Take a twist. Keeping that right knee over the right ankle. Just twisting it out. And here, take your right wrist and just take it in a circle. And go both ways. Nice. Excellent. Take your right hand back down. Whew, that felt good. Maybe rock forward and back a couple of times. And then we're going to use the strength of our arms. If your blocks are nearby, you can bring them, place them on either side of the right foot on whatever height feels good. And use them to bring yourself up to your high crescent lunge. So here, taking up space again, reach those fingertips toward the sky. Find your drishti as you start to wobble, and you will. It's okay. Good. Reach those fingertips high as you send that back heel back and the right knee rests over that ankle. Good. So strong. We're going to come into our warrior two by taking the right arm forward, the left arm back, and spinning that left foot to flat. And then here we are, really taking up space. So if you think about my friend Ashley, who was one of my first yoga teachers, she talks about sending your arms out from your body, extending your arms, and you think about anybody within this area are the only people in your space. So everyone else you can't really control. So if you think about like your family, your friends, not that you can control them, but they are the ones we have to worry about, I guess. When you're ready, let's just not worry. Flip your palms. Inhale, reach your palms up together and straighten that right leg. Good. And then take your palms, flip them down, send that good energy, that golden light out all around you. Good. Let's take two more. Inhale, reach up, straighten your leg, and exhale. Come back down, warrior two. Take up space. Find your edges. Maybe reach a little further with this right hand. See how that feels. And then bring this right leg pretty much to straight. So you can keep a little bend. We'll come into a triangle pose. So right arm comes down. You can bring it to a block on the inside or the outside of your leg. And then the left arm reaches up. And then think about that left side of the left foot pressing into the mat as much as the right side. So finding that sort of balance between the sides of the foot. Good. Reaching up. And then on your exhalation, bend that right knee again. We're just going to take our right elbow to this right thigh, and then take the left arm overhead for a side angle. Good. So torso twisting toward the left. Again, left side of the left foot pressing into the earth. Good. We're all wobbling. Just know you're getting stronger, building stronger boundaries. Take one more breath in. Maybe you want to extend your right arm forward, get a little oblique work here. We'll do it on the other side too. We'll get so much stronger. Building that core, that center, strong center. Good. When you're ready, slowly, let's get out of this gracefully. Take your blocks to either side of the foot, or just take your hands to frame the right foot and spin that left foot so it's facing forward. Good. Take a nice breath in, shine your heart, look forward, and then lower your left knee. Lower the top of the left foot. Let's come up into Anjasana and just take a little rest here. Might be a wobbly rest. Let's find just a moment of stillness to just settle into this right hip, the left hip flexor. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. Awesome. Building so much strength, so much flexibility. When you're ready, let's move those blocks out of the way. Take your hands to frame the right foot. Tuck the left foot. Send the right foot back to meet the left in downward facing dog. And then just take a moment to rock side to side, just hips rotating one side and then the other. Not rotating, just lifting one hip and then the other. And then send the heels down. Find some stillness here. Take a nice big breath. And let it go. And then when you're ready, left leg lifts. Find that lift. Maybe take some ankle circles here. Maybe take your knee and bend it, come into that fire hydrant pose. And then a few circles here just to work out the hips. You'll be glad we did. Good. Keep those hands firmly planted. Re-extend that leg. Maybe point and flex a couple times, just acknowledging the ankle. Take a big breath in, and on your exhalation, come into that cat pose. Draw the knee up toward the nose and draw the belly into the spine. Take a nice full big breath in, and then step it on forward, maybe with your blocks. Coming into your high lunge. Good. I always feel like I have bedhead. Please ignore my bedhead. When you're ready, maybe take your blocks to the higher level. Fingertips can come there as you slowly rise up, taking your arms up, coming into that crescent, high crescent lunge. So drawing the pinkies toward one another so you can feel that upper back getting stronger. Toes facing forward. Awesome. Crescent lunge. So reaching those fingertips high. If you want to really challenge your balance, you can look up. Maybe not. I'm looking forward. Finding my drishti, that thing that's not moving. Good. Breathe in one more time. And as you exhale, open up. Find your warrior two on this side. So spin that back foot. Good. Come into a strong warrior two. Reaching those fingertips from shoulder to shoulder outward. Yeah, this is our influence. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be somewhere in between. We want it to be good, right? So we want to keep a nice, clean, energetic field, a nice, healthy body, strong, clear mind. So take a nice big breath in, draw those shoulders down and away, and on your inhale, take your palms up, reach up, straighten that left leg. Let them touch, and then sink back down. Good. Imagine you're swirling that energy up and around, then back down. Good, one more. Oh, excellent. Exhale. And let your shoulders relax down. As you reach forward with the left hand, begin to slowly straighten that left leg. And then take your left hand down for triangle. So block is nice here. You can let your hand just rest. And this right arm can lift up. And then the torso is turning toward the center, toward the right. Good, nice big deep stretch. This feels so good. And if it doesn't, you know what to do. Good. Reaching up, reaching down. Finding our edge, the edge of our boundaries. Good. Maybe one more breath in, let you gaze up toward those fingertips. Gentle twist of the neck. And on your exhale, look down, bend the left knee, and take your left elbow to this left thigh. Reach your right arm overhead. You can take your gaze under your right arm, drawing that shoulder back in, so you're twisting toward the center. Good. Embracing the wobble. One more breath in. And maybe on your exhale, you want to reach your left arm forward, coming into a really strong pose. It's not for everyone, but so good. Feel that left oblique firing up. I'll feel it. Take one more breath in. And then on your exhalation, come on down. Bring your hands to frame the left foot. And then take your left leg back. We'll come into plank for a moment. Good. And then lower your knees, come into like a tabletop. Yeah, not like a tabletop. Bring your hands right under your shoulders, spread those fingers, Sophie, shake it out. And then we'll take 3 cat-cows here just to work out kinks in the spine. So inhale into your cow, drop your belly, lift your gaze. And exhale into your cat. Draw the belly into the spine. And then you might want to take some of those hip circles here. You might not, just decide. And then we're going to come briefly into hero's pose. So the knees can come together. This might not work for you. If not, we're heading down to our bellies. But before you get there, let's take our blankets. And so mine's folded in quarters. Yours might be a different size. We want to take it so that it's, I'm going to fold this now into thirds. So it's about that size. And then we're going to take it down to right where our belly goes. So somewhere in the middle of the mat. And then drape yourself down over your blanket. And so it's going to provide a little bit of compression for the belly. And if you have any issues, any digestive issues, this might, just provide a little bit of pressure to sort of bring some blood flow in there. So, or if it is just uncomfortable, just take the blanket away and let your head just rest on your hands. And just take a moment here. Feel your breath as you breathe into the blanket. And then let that blanket sort of press into your belly as you exhale. So it's giving you a little massage. Good, good for the organs. Take some really deep breaths. Also think about the back body, the lower back, the mid back. and the upper back. Good. Bringing your awareness to that core, that center. Good. You might notice your heart rate, heartbeat in that belly. So good. Bringing blood flow. That's the name of the game with yoga, right? Bringing blood flow, circulation, energy. Good. Let's take another breath in. And a long breath out. And then as you're ready, we're going to come up using the strength of our arms to press ourselves back up to table. Take that blanket and open it up. So, wait a minute, open it up so now you're folded. If it was in quarters, now it's half of that. Smooth out the wrinkles. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, come into downward facing dog. And then we're going to come into a half pigeon pose. So we might have to move the blanket, but I want the blanket to be a comfort for your legs. So when you're ready, we'll lift that right leg up to the sky, bend your knee, draw it toward you, coming into that cat pose. And then we'll come forward like we're in plank. And then we're going to slowly lower our leg down so that the knee is right behind the right wrist, and that left leg comes back and extends back. You can kind of lengthen it as much as you can, and already you're starting to feel this right hip. You might want to tuck a block underneath. And then decide if you want to lower down. You can use your block on any level to place your head. Support yourself, and we'll just let this pigeon pose work its magic. So make any adjustments that you need. You might not come deeply into this pose, and if this pose is just not for you, you can come down, I will demonstrate, to your back. We're on the right leg, so take that right ankle, cross it over the left, and come into a figure four, reaching through that little triangle for your shin. Good. If you're in pigeon, we'll be here for a few more breaths. Excellent. So let's just surrender here as much as we can. Letting go of tension in the hip, softening the jaw, softening the brow, swallowing in the throat, letting it go. So this whole idea of boundaries got me to thinking about what are my boundaries for my home. So I started just thinking, like, my home is my sacred space. I expect people to respect that. I have to really kind of put some thought into it so that it's not just something that is that I can expect everyone to feel when they come in. Not everyone is as much of a feeler as I am. So what are your boundaries for your space? I mean, maybe no smoking is one of them. No smoking anywhere around it. For some people that's just a given, but for others it's, you might not think about that kind of thing. And then when it comes up, it can be a shocker. What do I do? Good. One more breath in. And let it go. Deep exhalation. And then bring your hands to the mat. Send your hips back up, downward facing dog. Maybe you want to take one more of those hip circles. And then if you're in your figure four, just switch sides. And if you're ready to come into pigeon on this side, send that left leg up. Reach it up. And then come through your cat pose, drawing your knee to your nose, rounding your spine one more time. And then lower your left knee somewhere behind your left wrist and send that right leg long, lowering that knee. And then take any blocks, prop yourself as needed. Always prop, always support yourself. Maybe head comes down to the block. Anywhere. You can make it high, medium, low, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, or you can take your hands and stack them and then gently soften here. So finding that pigeon expression that works for you, for your boundaries. Nice breath in, nice breath out. So we have these natural boundaries, right? Our immune system is a boundary. When it notices intruders, it immediately puts up a guard, sends out the troops. When there's an allergen in the air, we sneeze, our eyes water, our bodies respond to boundary attacks. So we are naturally equipped. But our nervous system is another important aspect of our boundary. Our boundary guards, I guess. So we notice when we become anxious or feel something just isn't right. And pay attention to it. And we can remove ourselves or gently remove what seems to be in the way of our peace. Just paying attention so that we can respond appropriately when needed. Right? It's a gift of this yoga. And it's all about being in good relationship to ourselves, our loved ones, our acquaintances, and that great mystery, that higher power that we want to be in contact with as much as possible. Or to know we are. We always are. Let's take one more big breath in. I could go on. And let it go. And on your exhalation, let's come through downward facing dog one more time, tucking the right toes, lifting the hips, sending that left leg long, maybe taking a couple of hip circles here, not ankle circles. And then lowering that left foot. Good. Moving your blanket out of your way. And then coming forward into your plank one more time, getting that core. Last chance to get it fired up. Draw the belly into the spine. Take a big breath in. Maybe you lower to your knees. That's still core work. Maybe you come down to your arms and take just a brief couple of breaths in this core challenge, in this low plank. Maybe you roll to your left side. Maybe you want to take your side plank one more time. Then maybe you come through center, roll to your right side, taking that right side plank, getting those obliques fired up one last time. Excellent. Coming back through center, just lower down to your left hip, and then come on down to the back. Yeah, here we are. Move all your props out of the way. Find your mat and hug your knees into your chest. Well deserved. Good. Rock from side to side. Let's give ourselves a little sacrum massage, taking those circles in one direction. And switching directions. Good. Nice. Take your toes to the floor. Lift your hips enough to bump them over slightly to the right, maybe a couple of inches, and then take your knees over to the left. Open yourself up with your right arm, giving your shoulder a nice stretch. And take your torso. So we've twisted a little bit. So imagine this left rib cage twisting so much that your back is just resting on the floor, only if that's comfortable. And then turn your neck gently toward that right arm extended. Close your eyes. Feel this twist, imagine this twist detoxing, rinsing out all the healthy things for this body we're so lucky to live in. Good. Take one more nice, big, deep, full inhalation. Breathe in with all the gusto. And then come back to your back, feet on the floor. Let your spine reset. Maybe even take a couple of circles here. Why not? And when you're ready, lower your toes to the floor, bump your hips over to the right, just a couple of inches, and then lower your knees to the left. Wait a minute. Did we already do that? So, sorry. Take your hips over to the left, lower your knees to the right, open up to the left. My bad. Good. Open that left arm out. Take your gaze in that general direction, or just close your eyes. Allow your spine to adjust to this twist. And then find your breath again. Let's take 2 more breaths here. See if you can soften wherever you can. Good. And on your next breath in, draw your knees back to center. Just lower your feet enough to reset your spine, get it all neutralized. And maybe take another hug in. Maybe you want to lift your legs up to the sky. And just take a moment here. Maybe you'd like to even come into a shoulder stand. So lifting your hips even higher rather than a supported shoulder stand. And maybe a plow pose. Just decide what feels right for you. Maybe it's happy baby right before your shavasana. Take your choice, and let's take a couple of moments of silence in that final pose of choice, and then eventually come into your shavasana. Taking your own time, deciding when it's right for you. Maybe it's now. And then when you're ready, perhaps you take your blanket, roll it up under your knees or your neck, or you, like me, place your blanket gently over your belly. And then surrender here and let the gravity that is our reality help you feel that connection to the ground beneath you. And just let go. This is an elemental blessing for a new home by John O'Donohue's to bless the space between us. Before a human voice was ever heard here, this place has known the respect of stone, the friendship of the wind, always returning, with news of elsewhere whispered in seed and pollen. The thin symphonies of birdsong softening the silence. The litanies of rain rearranging the air. Cascades of sunlight opening and closing days. And the glow of the moon gazing through darkness. May all that elemental enrichment bless the foundation and standing of your home. Before you came here, this place has known the wonder of children's eyes, the hope of mornings in troubled hearts, the tranquility of twilight easing the night, the drama of dreams under sleeping eyelids, the generous disturbance of birth, the anxieties of old age, unclenching into grace, and the final elegance of calmly embraced death. May the life of your home enter into this inheritance of spirit. May the rain fall kindly. May daylight illuminate your hearts. May the darkness never burden. May those who dwell here in the unseen watch over your coming and going. May your lives of love and promise refine and deepen the mind of this land. Begin to deepen the breath. Moving slowly, wiggle fingers, toes, turn your head from side to side, do what you need to do. And then take your time to roll to one side or stay right where you are. Then use the strength of your arms if you're coming up. Come to a comfortable seat. And then closing your eyes one last time, just take a moment to check in. You feel a stronger sense of presence, perhaps. Maybe a resolution to keep those boundaries, those healthy boundaries in your home, in your body, your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual space. And then when you're ready, take your arms, reach up for all the goodness. Draw it down into your heart, let your head, chin come to your chest, head bowing in reverence, finding gratitude for this day, for this life, for this community. And with all that goodness, send out a prayer to someone who could use it. Thank you so much for showing up, for practicing, for listening to me babble. Until next time, namaste.